Skip the nonsense, skip the shenanigans, we're getting right into it, guys. Welcome back to the greatest of all time releases from the Farming Simulator franchise, FS17. I'm your host, the Rental Man Buck, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of corn harvest on a map called Oregon Springs. And if you guys have never heard of that map, then I highly recommend checking it out if you still play FS17. This map came out, and I don't believe it ever got converted to any other games since its release. But the only real thing that I never really cared for about this map is the fact that the corn, when it says it's ready to harvest even in its latest stages, looks like silage corn. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it does kind of get a little annoying. I'm going to be rocking with the 7130 Case IH, and we're going to see just how much corn we can really pull out of this field. If you guys like content like this and would absolutely love to see more Throwback Thursdays, please consider possibly dropping a like down below. Maybe you consider subscribing. I am on the race to that 100,000 public subscribers by the end of this year. Any and all help is definitely appreciated, and we love to have you guys stop by and see more. We played a lot of Throwback content over this last month, being the first time I ever played FS15 and the inclusion of Farm Sim 2011. Both those videos can be found in the top right-hand corner of your screen right now in that Throwback playlist. But let me know down in the comments below, guys, do you think Farm Sim 17 is the greatest of all time when it comes to the installations of the franchise? I think when it comes to the game mechanics and the physics, this was peak Farm Sim. You cannot beat what the scripts were, what the quality was, really anything that had to do with this game. I think this game is second to none. Looking in our bottom right, we can definitely see that Uniconvert was one of the better mods that came out in 17. We got 147 bushel corn. 147 bushel, not that great, especially in my area, because that's about what we get when we get water in Nebraska. I know I wouldn't be able to cut open the entire thing with the 8-row corn header, so I'm just going to chop a block and then we'll start working on the end rows of this particular section. But there are some things that on 17 were just so subtle that you honestly kind of miss those features, and one of them I just panned by is the fact that when you used to want to buy fields, you used to have to walk up to the end of the field and actually buy it on site. You can't do that anymore. But I do also notice that there was no ground textures when you had the corn swath go on the ground. There might have been a mod for that, but I can't remember. Doesn't really matter though, because we are rounding our way around the headland, so I am going to set up the one and only Daryl the man himself as the AI, and we're going to go grab ourselves the auger wagon.
A few moments later.
Let's get Daryl unloaded and start dropping some drone shots.
I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. All my friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cool night. Yeah, you can keep your 9 to 5, 'cause I'm happy with the simple life.
Finally back after that little montage. I forgot there are two things about this game that were really annoying back in the day. One, the AI. When you used to set a hired worker on their direction that they were supposed to go, it didn't matter what direction you went. If you did not set them up to go exactly down the rows, they went whatever direction you pressed the button on. And number two, I forgot just how brutal the traffic in this game was. Yeah, you see that little SUV going up across the road there? Yeah, he would just take you out faster than a T-bone collision with somebody who can't even see while driving. Daryl, though, is starting to figure out his lines. It's a little all over the place since, again, I haven't really played this game in a while, and I'm trying to figure out my controls again for the first time in a long time. I will need to run back to the farm and grab the Wilsons. That way we can haul in a truckload. I got a Ford LT9000 that I used to haul out my grain. I didn't know they also harvested at 7. That's something different. Usually we're always harvesting at 6. That, or maybe we secretly harvest at 9. I don't know. I can't really figure out what Daryl wants to do here. I keep changing the speed limit, and he goes faster, then he goes slower. Then he goes faster, then he goes slower. Gotta watch what I'm doing. Oh, she's getting heavy now. I'm full throttle. Woo! I think that means it's time for me to go grab the truck. And what better way to then rip it out with the F-150 Ranger. This thing is pretty awesome. Watch this thing. Yeah! She is all over the place. Whoa. Hopefully I don't have any traffic. It's going to be pretty brutal if I get hit by one of them. I do have the more realistic game engine in, so it's kind of interesting to see how well it really affects the vehicles. Definitely the base game vehicles, I can tell there's a notable difference in how they drive, how they perform. It's pretty cool. But for the modded vehicles, some of them don't really know what to do with it because they weren't built for it. And it just kind of goes all over the place. These are very overscaled wheels. But hey, the truck looks good. You guys haven't noticed, I kind of got a red theme going today. Usually I'm always using green. Well, why not use some case? Let me know down in the comments, what is your guys' preferred brand? I was born and raised on green, but every now and then I like to throw a wrench in things and play with some Case IH. I do also really like New Holland. Oh, don't mind that. I forgot that I had my toggle HUD and other emote thingies. So it takes off my HUD. That's how I get all those shots, and then I zoom in my field of view. Come on now. I know you're able to dump. Oh. You had to manually unload this thing? I didn't know that. That's cool. Daryl's been having a hissy fit, though, because he thinks once he gets to the end of this long pass that he's done, and he's not. So I'm going to do all of us a favor, and I'm going to chop that one end that sits on the backside and just do this portion myself, and then I'll hire the rest of it out. We got a lot of people that are usually in that Case and John Deere market, but we also have the international viewers that might be like Deutz Fahr, as well as Fendt, any of the AGCO products, which is basically half of the Fendt, Alice, and all of them. I mean, AGCO just stands for Alice Gleaner Company. You all know the drill. Let me know. I really do have to compliment, though, on the quality of the mods back in the day. Even though this was all texturized, there was no materials, hence the reason it just looks like a giant sticker in here. It does look pretty good for the timestamp that this game was out. Because keep in mind, as I stated in that 15 video, 19 was the first game that incorporated the materials system, so all of the stuff you see in here is literally a giant texture. It's not actual materials like we have today. That's why the models look so much more detailed because, well, I hate to say it, they can actually put that level of detail into the model. These days it didn't matter, it just had to look shiny and clear. A big thing that is tripping me up, though, is 19 and 22 have like the vehicle, whatever you're selected on, they usually sit up in the top left. Well, now everything's on the bottom right in the old HUD, so I can't tell what I'm usually selected on. It's alright, I'm starting to get used to it. But this combine, to my knowledge, was part of that Titanium DLC that came out in 13, and it aged like fine wine. This is a very good-looking combine for its time. I'm starting to begin to... Hold on a minute. Did that trailer actually have separate hoppers back in the day? I didn't think that was a thing till 19. I mean, I guess you could technically set it up in the code, but still, that's awesome. I didn't know that. I will not be messing around with the bale physics like I did in 15. I'm pretty sure 17 had a better system anyway. But one thing that I also wanted to try is, I can't remember where I saw the screenshot. Somebody did a comparison when 19 came out versus what 17 already had. And it's how well the ground looked when you actually tilled it up. If you guys know, in 19 and 22, when you're taking a cultivator or whatever piece of tillage equipment around the corners, it was really blocky. I think in 17 they always said that it just looked smoother. Like when you turned around or when you cultivated, it just looked better. And I want to put that to the test because I do have a John Deere disc sitting in my shed. We might just go back after we get this chunk done and grab the disc just to test it out. I want to see that. The biggest takeaway I have from a game like this is really the simplicity that it brings back to the mind. It brings us back to those days when life wasn't always so complicated. We just kind of were able to figure things out and play life as it came at us. Everything just feels so rushed anymore, and you have to have it now, and you can never really sit back and enjoy it. that's where I feel like this game really did. It unlocks those core memories that we all really just want to have. With that emptied out, though, my curiosity is getting the best of me. I just have to see if what is being said is true. That's the perfect example of what traffic looked like back in the day. Whew. Another thing that's cool is that modders like this, I could never pronounce this guy's name. I always felt so bad. He did really good work, and he always did case stuff. But this setup is completely backwards. Usually you would always see a case piece of tillage on a John Deere tractor, but we're playing the opposites today. Don't get hit by a car! I didn't know that a car could projectile launch me. Hey, because you're not helping. Why is this? Why me? Why me? Please, why me? I don't want to have to reset. You can't, like, reset to store point in this game. Oh, no, I'm really getting oh, I'm just making it worse. I'm making it worse. I'm making this horrendously worse.
20 minutes later.
I'm starting to figure it out. It's not working. Wait, it is working. It's working. It's working. It's working! Oh, just when I get it out of there comes an AI truck. Dang it. Please, let me live. I beg of you. Yes. Yes.
Yes!
On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see. Does this do exactly what I thought it said it does? Are the ground textures really better in 17? Starting to turn. I'm starting to turn. Yeah. That's just better. That's really good. Look at that. You can literally see the curvature of the ground texture. That is... yeah. Anybody else need any more proof that this is peak farm sim? Because I sure don't. Look at that. That has got to be the smoothest looking turn I've ever seen. Anyways, I think we're probably going to go sell that grain, and we'll see where we're at, and maybe even might wrap up the day. I don't really know how long I've been doing this. I just like to have fun. 800 bushels, so this is like a 1,000 bushel trailer. This is an accurately scaled trailer. That is awesome. Now we just got to find out where on earth I'm supposed to go. We have corn in the trailer. Where's corn? $40. Holy cow. Okay. Pete's Diner. Where's Pete's Diner? Does it have a tag for me in the air so I can see it? Okay, it's to the south. Somewhere. Oh, I see it now. I see it in the air. Let's head into town. Or at least where the diner's at. I gotta say, though, this is just an absolutely beautiful map. Why this map never saw a second life is beyond me. But even listen to the ground sounds. Like the gravel sounds on this, yes, it sounds like you're slowly driving on it, but you just don't have that kind of environment for 22. Hopefully 25 brings all of that back, and we can really have the full circle end product. Rolling into town, though. Nice little place. Let's see how much 870 bushels at $40 a bushel brings us. That is absurd, okay? That is just absurd. I'm gonna get hit. I was loaded down, that's why it didn't hurt. Here's Pete's Diner. Let's just see, how much money will I make? What the heck is this all about? Like this diner was made to have a trailer backed into it, not rolled over the top. What's my unload button? It is I, okay. decent chunk of money. $36,000. Farmer's Wish. I think before we wrap out today's video, I want to do one last thing. There is one particular tractor from 17 that has been my downright favorite. And if you guys remember from 19, the Kubota compact tractor that I released, this is the original tractor to that mod. It's a New Holland T4, and it was only a two-wheel drive American variant. I don't know why this tractor never saw life past this game. It's honestly a pretty good model. It would obviously need to be redone in modern terms because it just has lived its life. But in the grand scheme of things, it's honestly a really good tractor, and I want to try and mow these ditches with it. We really have gotten nothing done today, but we're just having fun playing an old game. It's the greatest of all time. You got to experiment with some things. And before we also get too far ahead of ourselves, yes, Daryl does have his red Chevy in this game. I did make sure of that. But here is the Queen of England herself. Look at that little guy. I miss this tractor so much. Got the John Deere Flex Swing on it. See how well this thing's able to mow the ditches. But it's just such a good looking little compact. The only thing is that it kind of sits a little high because of that two-wheel drive axle. Other than that, look at this thing. Let's just see how this thing mows. If it's got even enough power to get going. Just get it going down the hill. Yeah. Look at that. It's not cleaning up any of the ditch weeds, which is kind of pointless because that's the whole point of this mower. But it leaves a nice, pretty clean cut, if you ask me. Definitely need a more powerful tractor to do the job, though. I think I have in the 5R or the 5E tractor that was like all German language, but it's honestly a really cool tractor. Never mind, that's not this save. That's my Lincoln Creek save. One thing that I did do is I never got rid of any of my mods for any of the games that I have played. I did delete all of my save games, though, for 17, just because it really was... They outlived their life. They really needed to go. But it was a great time getting back into FS17 just to fart around and kind of have some fun. It's always a great time to bring back these old games and just see how far we really have come. So thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to check out the rest of the Boomstick Club for all the up-to-date content from me and the gang. You guys already know who is in it. It was a really short one, but if you guys want to see more content, let me know down below. We'll see you all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out. Peace.